first started skating. So we all have our beginner stages in everything that we start. I'm the type of person that loves trying new things, and I love the experience of progressing in something new. And roller skating was interesting for me because I actually had a really huge fear of skating, but there are definitely a lot of mistakes that I made looking back. I don't regret any of the mistakes I made because it got me to where I am, and thankfully I never got seriously hurt, but I'm here so that you don't have to repeat the mistakes that I made. Okay, so mistake number 1, not knowing how to stop. Looking back in hindsight, I would tell any roller skater the first thing you should learn is 1, how to stand, but also how to stop. So me being the excitable jive turkey that I am, I just jumped into roller skating. I threw them on my feet, I was super excited when they arrived, and I just went for it. And the first thing I did was I ran into one of the doors in my house. And let's insert that clip here. I just freaking turned. I didn't die. Yeah, a lot more stumbling around after that, and you can't blame me. I was a baby roller skater. I was excited. And then I ended up going outside and skating more, and still I did not know how to stop. My idea of stopping was basically to skate until I no longer had speed, until I would just naturally stop. And when you're kind of like stopping like that, you almost kind of buckle, and it's very easy to fall that way. I didn't understand how to use my toe stops. I didn't know T-stops. I didn't know plow stop. I didn't know any of that stuff. All I knew is I'm excited. I have roller skates. Let's do this. I don't care if I get hurt. I don't care about anything. I'm just ready to skate. I've been trying to track down skates for all this time, and now I finally have them. Let's do this. I don't recommend doing that. Mistake number 2 I made, not knowing how to fall safely. So, like I mentioned, I just strapped skates onto my feet and just went for it. And I really didn't understand how to fall. Like, my whole idea of falling was don't do it and try your best not to do it. And honestly, I was just very stiff in my stature. And looking back, I was a lot more susceptible to falling and hurting myself instead of just knowing the proper way of how to fall. You definitely don't want to fall on your tailbone. Thankfully, I've never had a bad fall, like I injured myself or anything like that, but learning how to fall safely is high on the list. Mistake number 3 I made when I first started skating, I didn't bend my knees. Now, you can see in my first day, my legs were very straight. I was kind of teetering back and forth instead of like really going in stride when it came to going forward. One thing that I noticed when I first started skating is I expected it to feel a certain way, and it didn't feel that way, especially because I started skating outside. The road was bumpy, you know, there were different elements I couldn't really control. So I thought it was just gonna be this simple, intuitive thing, but it actually wasn't. And I didn't really understand the concept of rocking your body back and forth and how you're creating that motion. I thought you're just kind of like pushing your feet forward, and that's like making you go. Wrong! That is not what makes you go forward on roller skates. So bending your knees really helps. It helps you go faster, it helps you feel more stable, and it all around gives you a better experience on your skates. Mistake number 4. I didn't understand how inclines worked. And this may sound kind of silly. On my second day of skating, I actually never told this story before. I didn't realize I was on an incline. I didn't have any protection or gear on. We'll get into that in a second. I started picking up a lot of speed going down the street, and I didn't know why. It was a pretty small incline to the point where I didn't even realize that I was on one, but I was picking up speed very fast. And like I mentioned, I really didn't know how to stop properly, and I definitely didn't know how to stop fast. I didn't understand swiveling back and forth. I didn't understand turnaround toe stop or any of that. So I was getting really, really scared, and I tried to literally stop myself by grabbing onto a parked car. So I ended up slamming into the car, basically, sliding off the side and continuing down this incline, and I was horrified. So, end of the story, how did I end up stopping? I braced myself and I ended up belly flopping onto one of my neighbor's lawns. I don't know how, but I didn't get hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it was really, really scary, and part of me wanted to literally just take the skates off and walk home because I was just so mortified, but I was fine. But I would definitely recommend that you understand inclines or be vigilant of when you are on an incline. Mistake number 5, protective gear. When I first started skating, my protective gear didn't get to me until maybe like my 3rd day on skates. I can't 100% say that I regret starting when I did, because I started right when I got my skates. Thankfully, nothing bad happened, but at least I would say to my past self, protect your knees. Protect those knees. You only get 2 knees. They're important. They have to get you through the rest of your life. I would highly recommend at least wrist guards and knee pads. A lot of people fall on their butt and injure their tailbone. You could just get those like padded shorts, and maybe it'll make your butt look good. Full gear is preferred. Get your helmet, get your wrist guards, get your elbow pads, your knee pads, protect yourself. As you grow in your roller skate journey, protective gear is honestly a personal choice. I'm definitely never gonna be the person that's gonna be in other people's comments and saying, "Where's your protective gear?" I think that's a bit extreme and inappropriate, but as a beginner, I highly recommend that you cover yourself. If you're skating in your garage, even if you're in your kitchen, I highly recommend that you protect yourself while you first start roller skating. I would have saved myself a lot of sore nights if I had done that when I first started skating. Okay, so my last mistake I made when I first started roller skating is comparing myself to other people. Honestly, when you first start anything, you're gonna suck. You're gonna fall, you're gonna stumble, you're gonna look like a penguin. You're not gonna look aesthetically pleasing, and that's okay because you're learning. Comparing yourself to other people, other roller skaters, takes away from the joy and the fun of your own progression. You can look at someone else and find inspiration, and I am so humbled that so many people found inspiration in my progression videos. But I also did get a lot of comments where people were putting themselves down and saying that I progressed a lot faster than they did. When it comes to progression in anything, there are a lot of factors that have to do with why someone progresses the way they do in something. For instance, I grew up dancing, so maybe that helped me with balance and certain things that I do nowadays, but at the end of the day, there are things that other people do way better than me. When I first started skating, there were definitely people I saw progressing way faster than I did. It's like, this is just school of life. Don't compare yourself to other people in anything that you do. I know it's hard, but just try to find inspiration in other people. And have fun. Oh my goodness, just have fun. I definitely never made that mistake. I had fun regardless of the situation, always. Fun is the #1 goal. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. These were my mistakes I made when I first started roller skating. Don't repeat my mistakes. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.